Salut à tous, bienvenue au Nurburgring pour cette deuxième.
Hello and welcome to Germany for the second round of the Eurocup Clio here at the Nurburgring. It's not on the legendary Nordschleife that the two races will be held, but on the same track as the Formula One Grand Prix. Jean Ragnotti will be our guide again this weekend. He'll introduce us to a very important factor in motorsport, the tyre pressure. Jean will then take us on board a Clio Cup to discover this track. The second round of the Eurocup Clio here in Germany is now starting. The Eurocup Clio is part of the 10th season of the World Series by Renault. There should be two mouth-watering races given the weather conditions, which will be difficult for the drivers. Before getting out onto the circuit to get involved, Jean Ragnotti tells us about one of the most important things in motor racing, tyre pressure. Tyre pressure is very variable. It depends on the number of corners on the circuit and whether they're high speed or low speed. The ambient temperature is of course a factor too. In the Clio Cup, the Nurburgring is a fast circuit, so you want your front tyres at 1.5 to 1.6 kilos. And at the rear you're looking at 2 to 2.2. It can be 1.8 kilos when there are a lot of corners because they know that the tyre will gain pressure. Go beyond 2.3 and you run the risk of the tyres rounding off and the pressure climbing very quickly after just 2 or 3 laps. The pressure can climb by 200 to 300 grams. That's why the teams do a lot of testing. They're never 100% confident of getting the pressure right before a race. A team getting the pressure wrong could find themselves in the situation where the tyre temperature climbs to 120 to 130 degrees. At that temperature, the tyres will get destroyed, starting with the front tyres. You'll struggle in the corners and to get the power through. That's why it's difficult to make the right pressure choice at the start at circuits where the temperature is very high. Before the first race of the weekend, let's get on board the Clio Cup with Jean Ragnotti and go around the track at the Nurburgring. You're inside the Clio Cup with Jean Ragnotti. We're going to do a lap of the Nurburgring. Away we go. My brakes are a bit cold. In this left-hander, we're in third. This is almost a hairpin. The left-hander closes off, and then it opens up into the right-hander. We're into third now. Fourth. Another left in third. And then straight down into second. Now I need to go into second again for a bit. Third. Then fourth. Back into third for this corner, which closes up a bit. From now on, everything goes very quickly. Now a heavy braking point. Second, third, second again. Now third straight away. This is the fastest section of the circuit. It's here that there's the possibility to overtake under braking at the chicane. Sixth. And then slam on the brakes. You need to be in second through the chicane. Third. Then a long right-hander in second. And then it opens up. Well, thanks to Jean Ragnotti for taking us for a spin around the Nurburgring. Now, the pre-grid for race 1. 25 minutes plus 1 lap of racing in prospect, but on the starting grid, Everyone's wondering whether to go for the slicks or the wet tyres. The front two rows going for the wet weather tyres at the back of the grid. Slicks, and watch out for the number 2 Pedala, who starts in P17. Start of the race, the number 46 on pole. A good start for him. Josh Files there we saw. But it's Noguez leading this race. A fight for the 4th place here between the number 99 Files and Tremoulet. Files, the British driver, taking on Tremoulet. And Files going through, past Tremoulet. Files looking very comfortable in these conditions. And Files up to 2nd now behind Noguez. Morgan 3rd, Ascona 4th. Well, Tremoulet struggling, making poor tyre choice, you'd have to say. Maybe would have been better on the slicks. Also the tyre pressure coming into play here. We've heard how important that is. Thomas Pekka, who was 13th on the grid, is on the slicks, and he's closed up on Files. He's flying. And Pedala, another, to make an incredible climb through the field. 17th on the grid he was. He's cutting a swathe through the pack. And the slick tyres are looking like the right choice here. The wet weather tyres starting to suffer from degradation. Josh Files attacking Noguez for P2 as Pekka went past Noguez earlier to get into 1st. And now Files up to 2nd. And look who's right up behind these two. It's Pedala, who started in 17th. He looks like the quickest man on the track right now. And he's moving into a provisional podium position. As he goes past Noguez, he has Files in his sights. And Pedala easily past Files. Pedala 2nd now. Massimiliano Pedala, the Italian, with an incredible drive here. And now Della Motta is going to get himself into 3rd place as he overtakes Files. Well, the slick's definitely the right option. An easier gamble to take for those at the back. Oh, what a fight here between Pekka and Pedala. Pedala overtaking the Czech, who's on the slick tyres but with a car set up for the wet. The championship runner-up last year, Pedala, with an incredible win after a wonderful drive. Good strategy from his team too. Pedala taking the victory from Pekka. Della Motta 3rd, Files down in 6th there. Tremoulet finished 11th. Massimiliano Pedala, the winner then. And we can hear from him. Everything started with my rather catastrophic qualifying performance where I finished 17th. It meant I had nothing to lose, so I went out on slicks on a wet track. It turned out to be the right choice because everything went well and I won the race having started at the back. His car is right behind me. I'm talking about Josh Files. He's the reigning champion of the Eurocup Clio. Join me and meet this British driver.
My name is Josh Files. I race in the Renault Clio Eurocup this year. Last year I was Clio Eurocup champion and UK Clio champion as well. Before that I did 2 more years of Clio UK Championship and 2 years of historic racing. I only started racing when I was 18, so I'm a bit new to it still. It's probably one of the closest series probably in the world, to be honest, because all the cars are obviously the same. Obviously little bits of setup changes, but it just teaches you close racing, hard racing. All the guys are seriously quick, so it teaches you to really be patient and drive the car properly, because the slightest mistake turns into a massive time penalty on circuit. Team Pyro are the UK's best Clio team, bar none. Probably one of the UK's best teams overall. They've got the best winning record. They've won over the last 7 years of Clio Cup UK. They've won 6 years as a drivers' champion and 7 years as a team's champion. I want to do Porsche Super Cup, ultimately to go and lead into Le Mans and endurance racing from there, world endurance racing. Something in maybe ALMS in America, or the sports car, United Sports Car Series. But one day I want to go do V8 supercars in Australia as well, because that just looks cool.
Files has a pressing engagement though with race 2 in the Eurocup Clio. Josh Files, the 99, on pole. It's entirely dry now, the circuit, so everyone on the slick tyres. But a bad start there from Files. Eric Tremblay, who was alongside him on the front row, took advantage of that. On board with Josh Files, who ends up on the grass there after a bit of contact with the number 20. Oh, Files off again. Files needing big points here. Tremblay, Morgan, Noguez, Ascona pick up Pedala, the top 6. Josh Files 11th. Oh, Ronnie Marchetti out of the race. He must have rolled. You can see how damaged the roof of that car is. The safety car coming out. When the race was back on, the fight between Tremblay and those lining up behind him to take him on. 4 cars locked together. Tremblay going a bit wide there, but Noguez couldn't take advantage of that. Morgan 3rd, Ascona 4th. Well, Noguez has been patient here, biding his time, but this could be the moment as he goes to the inside and through he goes into the lead. Tremblay relegated to 2nd position. Noguez leading, Morgan still 3rd. Tremblay having a few problems with his brakes and he's barged out of the way. Morgan through, but Ascona through too, and Ascona seems to have got in front of Morgan too, but Ascona wide. And Morgan and Tremblay come through again. Oh, Pekka making the mistake over the grass. He'll get back into the race. Pedala as well. Well, massive oversteer. Well, it looks like the race is actually over for Pekka. As Tremblay is under pressure from Ascona. This for 3rd place, and Tremblay off the podium positions now. But 2 minutes from the end, plus the 1 lap after that, of course. Tremblay back into 3rd. Great battling qualities from the Frenchman. There with Josh Files again. Just outside the top 5 at the moment. Oh, Files! Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Rolling his Clio on the final chicane after the contact. It's a win for Noguez, his third win in 4. He's a strong leader of the Eurocup Clio 2014 series. While Files out of his car, he's okay. But this is probably the end of his hopes of retaining his crown in 2014. Noguez the win, Alex Morgan of Britain in second, Eric Tremoulet of France third, Mikel Ascona of Spain fourth. Plenty of nationalities there in the top 10. Oscar Noguez saying, it was a difficult day for us. In the dry we were pretty good compared to the others. In the rain it was a different story and we had a lot of understeer. I've won 3 of the 4 races and I'm very happy. It reinforces my position at the top of the championship and I'm confident for the rest of the season. There's the podium for the second race, which was won by Noguez. And in the Drivers' Championship, Noguez 27 points clear of Massimiliano Pedala, Eric Tremoulet third, Josh Files down in 5th. So a thrilling round of the Eurocup Clio from the Nurburgring comes to a close. Scotland was the venue for an important moment in the history of Renault Sport. Renault chose the Scottish Rally around in the British Rally Championship for a first race conditions test of the new Clio R3T. It's in Dumfries, situated 120 kilometres south of Glasgow, that the Renault Sport team is putting together the final preparations before the big off. Before taking on the Scottish forests, the car was entirely revised after a final testing session on the eve of the rally. And now it's time to get the final setup honed. The history of Renault Sport is long. It started in 1973 with a first World Constructors' Championship title with the Alpine. Since then, the French manufacturer has been ever present in the discipline and has developed a strong attachment to its competitive client base. This is the expression of the DNA of Renault Sport. The whole team worked a lot on the competition client side in coming up with and constructing a car that's simple to use, simple to maintain, and is much more cost-effective than previously.
Facile à entretenir et qui coûte beaucoup moins cher que précédemment à exploiter.
After the success of the Clio R3, with more than 380 vehicles sold worldwide, Renault Sport has the ambition of doing just as well, if not even better, with the new model, the Clio R3T. We've already got the pre-orders. We were limited to 20 cars for homologation purposes. These 20 were already pre-ordered. In the first year, the objective is to sell 40. There was an 8-year wait before Renault Sport Technology gave birth to the Clio R3T, their new weapon that's ready to clean up in two-wheel drive competition and which has a near identical look to the Clio RS200 EDC, except that under the bonnet there are several differences. The Clio R3T's principal characteristic is the 1600 turbo engine. That's what separates it from the old Clio with its classic 2-litre engine. It's the R3T with the T for turbo. It's a two-wheel drive with competition fuel, 480 Nm, with wide-ranging uses. It's a vehicle which should be up front among the two-wheel drives. A number of partners have invested in the project, like Sodomo and RDM. When it came to the engine, and the Clio R3T has a Sadev gearbox and PFC brakes. Michelin provided its support for the tyres and Sachs for the suspension. And for the first time, the revision of the car is advised every 4,000 kilometres, a record which means it's got the lowest operating cost in its category. As for the price, it depends on the kits. In the asphalt version, €68,900 pre-tax, €70,500 for the gravel version. At the end of a development process started in October 2013, the big moment has finally come for Renault Sport Technology and the duo Jukka Kohonen, Marko Salminen to head off from the start line at Dumfries for the first special stage. As Britain is quite an important market for us, this allowed us to do a full rally and so to be present at the Scottish Rally, which punctuates the end of our development process. For Jukka Kohonen, the reigning champion in the British Rally Championship, the first experience in race conditions was more than positive.
It's the easy car to jump to and to get the good feeling immediately, and there's a really powerful engine, and yeah, it's whole package. It's good.
Oikein helppo. Ja vasen täyshuomio 6, vasen M.
Even if the Clio R3T isn't eligible to record a finish here, the team doesn't hide its objectives. They're going to look at the clockings all weekend long. The objective is to be in front of their main rival, the Citroën DS3 R3, and to achieve that goal, the whole team is working on the car. The Renault Sport Technology team is quite small in rally terms, but everyone involved is really passionate about rallying, from the design stage through to the engineers, the development team, the sporting and commercial wings. We're really a small team, but we try to run all our projects well, so that the clients are satisfied with the different products we offer. At the end of the Scottish Rally, the Finnish duo have taken on the 10 specials, almost 120 kilometres of time sections. Each kilometre counted for the team, as it allowed driver feedback in racing conditions. All the information harvested will be incredibly useful as the programme moves forward. For Jean-Pascal Jocu, the assessment of the first experience is overwhelmingly positive.
For une première sortie, on est très content.
For a first outing, we're very happy. The car lived up to all its promises. We had no mechanical issues, no technical problems. The driver is enchanted by the car. We know there are still lots of things to work on in terms of the setup. That said, it was still a beautiful first experience, and we're really happy to have come here. The next rendezvous is at Mont Blanc, there with an asphalt version, so things will be subtly different.